Good evening and welcome to Curling Stadium. The Alberta Series Leduc Major continues its quarterfinal action. Our feature game. Team Riku Yanagisawa from Japan playing against Team Reid Carruthers from Manitoba. My name is Jason Chang. Bringing you the action from the ICR device. With me is Haley Britton. Good evening, Haley. Well, as mentioned, quarterfinal matchups here. We're into the playoff round. This is the last draw of the day. Teams vying for a spot in that semifinal. Semifinals and finals are tomorrow. Of course, everything on Curling Stadium. Just go to curlingzone.com and click on all the links. We've got all the games coverage. We'll keep you up to date on some of the other games, or you can put them on your screen as well. Stream a couple of games at the same time.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Hi, Haley. Good evening.
Hi. I couldn't hear you there for a minute.
Well, welcome to the broadcast. Games underway, first end. Team Yanagisawa, they have last stone, it appears. Going to run this guard back.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of rocks in the 4-foot area right now, so they want to open things up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Team Carruthers on the ice not that long ago, Haley. They have a quick turnaround time. They were playing in that Seaside final. They defeated Corey Dropkin in the 8th end, or was it an extra end? It was an extra end, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they must have had a quick turnaround to go to an extra to right back on.
Well, let me set things up for us. Team Yanagisawa, they are from Karuizawa, Japan. Their third is Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. Takeru Yamamoto is their second. Satoshi Koizumi, their lead. And they were in Martinsville last weekend, Curling Stadium, Martinsville International, finished runner-up to Yannick Schwaller. So coming off a really strong weekend for them. Team Carruthers with Jason Gunlickson at third, Derek Semigalski second, and Connor Negevin throwing those lead stones, of course, from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Of course, also, that's a new look for Team Reid Carruthers, who had been playing with Mike McEwen last season.
Mm-hmm. Definitely new team, new look. A lot of team shuffle arounds this year, for sure.
Yeah, the end of the last quadrennial happened, and then in the spring we saw, well, it started in the winter, in fact, but
it did, yeah.
Lots of shuffle, and we'll be interested to see how these new lineups do. An interesting setup in the house, Haley. Just a stack of stones.
I know. It's like a caterpillar. It's insane.
Yeah, good description.
Yeah. It's a nice little wall to see what they're going to try and how they deal with this.
Yeah, and Team Yanagisawa, they have the last stone advantage here. And they do sit shot rock. It's that red stone, that sandwich between the yellow stones right now on the button, shot stone.
It's a good looks like a good position to be in right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's in there. The only unfortunate part is it's going to be pretty tough to get 2 points out of this situation if you don't do anything. That being said, if you try to do something, you can make it worse and
exactly
set Team Carruthers up for a steal.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to figure out how to do things, because if you do the wrong thing, it ends up not looking too good.
It's got his third, I think, brought down to the other end of the ice, having a closer look here. You can see there is that guard that's off center.
Yeah.
It's not really guarding the top stone, but it prevents you from hitting it much on the inside. If you wanted to hit it a little bit on the inside, that actually may be the better way to hit if you're trying to hit that top yellow stone, because then it'll squirt the yellow stone outward, right?
Yeah, but that top guard does make it harder to get there. I think you still could, but it definitely makes it harder to get there.
And of course, we'll keep you up to date on the other quarterfinal matches, but if you're interested, we have John Epping playing against Tanner Horgan. Tanner also came through that Seaside final. They beat Ryland Kleider. Yannick Schwaller, the winner last weekend in Curling Stadium Martinsville, playing Aaron Schlazinski from Alberta, and Marco Husley from Switzerland playing Ryan Wheat from Manitoba. Have they decided what they're going to do here?
I think they did. I think they're going to try and hit it on the intern side, where the red guard is, I believe. Try and scramble it up, see what they can do with it, I believe.
Looks like a softer type of weight.
Yeah, so maybe they're just tapping it. Or maybe they're just guarding it. That's a good option, too.
I think they're going to try to jiggle it a little bit here. They want to get to the inside. That's why they needed a softer weight.
Yeah, to get by that top.
And they rolled their shooter to be buried. They've moved their own backing off a little bit, which may help them out later trying to create some space in that button and forefoot area.
Yeah, try and get some room to be able to score there too.
Because right now, as it stands, the way they've jiggled it, those two Yellowstones, the two that are in the top four, Haley, I think if you hit it hard, they might go, or at least go away from the forefoot area. Definitely the top one does.
Oh, 100%. I think if you hit it a little bit on just like the shoulder of it, I think they both go, and even if it does hit your red, I think it jams on that other yellow.
Yeah, so I think they've really improved the situation there by being able to cross the face, use a quieter weight to get it kind of behind that guard when they make that hit. Well, Team Carruthers, they got here through the long route. They opened with a win over Riley Fenson, a loss to Jacques Coche, beat Michael Bruner of Switzerland, beat Scott Dunham of the U.S., lost to Aaron Schlazinski of Alberta, beat Karsten Sturme, and then just defeated Corey Dropkin in that Seaside final. Team Yanagisawa, they've had a much simpler path. Only 3 games, 3 wins to get here over Michael Bruner, Weed, and Horgan in the A-side final. Sometimes, Haley, though, that's difficult to actually win out on the A-side because you have a really long break before you play this quarterfinal match.
Exactly. Yeah, you have a long break. You kind of, relax a bit, which is always good. But then the ice changes. You have to kind of get back in your groove. It's definitely difficult either way, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to play too many games, right? I kind of like B-side. Coming out of the B-side is a nice balance. You get more games under your legs as well, right? So, and you're not waiting for too long. You're kind of in a groove, right? You're just playing in a regular pattern.
Like you're not too tired, but then you're not too relaxed at the same time. Yeah.
So Team Carruthers, they freeze one into that pocket there, top 8. Nice shot. And now I think they're going to try to jiggle these rocks a little bit again. Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. I think he was throwing the final stones for this team last season, if I'm not mistaken. They've kind of switched it up.
I think, yeah.
There it comes in, triggles it.
I think that does end up pretty good for them because now they can have a nice shot at the button with some backing too.
Yeah, and it pops that yellow one open. I think, though, Team Carruthers, they might try to freeze in there as well. Again, into the top of the 4. They have to be a bit careful. I mean, there are 4 red stones also in the rings. If somehow the angles don't work out well for you and the yellows start flying out, you could be in a little bit of a pickle.
You could, yeah. You could end up giving up more than just the one.
I like this call right here, the one that he's pointing at right now. That
Yeah.
kind of freeze or into the pocket or just draw into that 4-foot area, because if you put it there, then that yellow stone that you're going to throw is not going to be able to hit out.
Yeah, it's not really going to go out, and if they do try and hit it, then it probably jams off their own red.
Hello to Megan Edwards. Thanks for saying hi to us on the YouTube chat. And Koeda-san, konnichiwa, from Japan. Have you decided on that draw to the 4-foot, kind of between those two yellow stones?
Yeah, I think that's what they're planning to do. Yeah, kind of just draw it in, kind of freeze that 4, make it a little harder for them to get more than one here.
Yeah, good opportunity for them to force right now. Team Carruthers, that's what you like to do when you don't have hammer. And still, with one more stone after this, they might still be able to find a way to get shot stone on their last stone and maybe force Riku into tough shot to score. So this is a setup shot for sure. It's coming in there, bumps it a little bit. Bumps it a little bit hard, I think.
It does look, from my angle, it looks like yellow, but I'm not entirely sure.
I think it is yellow, but that yellow can be hit out right now.
I was gonna say, you hit it straight nose, you could probably just throw it out of there. Have to be careful though. I feel like if you hit it just a little off nose towards the yellow to the right, you might end up jamming on your own red, and that would not be good.
Yeah, and I'm wondering whether if you just nosed it on the yellow, would you leave a double on the 2 reds? I know that that red that's right now on the back of the button is fairly close to that yellow, but it's not completely frozen. There is space, so if you can throw it hard enough, you might be able to make a red-red double if they just simply nose.
Yeah. True, yeah. If you nose, you might end up leaving that. Well, even if you hit it, if you come on, you hit it on the left side, then we can kind of just punch it through that way. And then you kind of roll over, and it's a little harder of a double.
Yep, you can do that. You can also maybe just tap it back to the back 4, leave more backing.
It, yeah. Get more backing. A little hard to get your red out with that.
Now, based on where they're putting the broom right now, it looks like it's going to be a draw type shot, whether they're going to play the tap like we've just discussed. Not entirely sure.
Definitely a lot of rocks in play this end, that's for sure.
Yeah, they started out with a bang here in the first end, wasting no time to get at it.
Yeah, getting right into
Looks like a checkers board, right? They're kind of all in a line too, so
it does. Yeah, it does. Nice little wall of rocks right there.
All right, well, let's see what Yanagisawa-san has for us here. It's a quieter shot. I think it may be that little tap that we talked about, Haley.
Looks like it, yeah.
Needs to curl in there, though. Well, they've tapped
just hit the wrong yellow.
Yeah, they've tapped the outside one, and the angle's not great for Team Yanagisawa right now. I think Reid is still sitting 1 here. I'm wondering if there's
Yeah.
any way for them to sit 2 out of this, or is
Get
that
by
too
2.
risky to move?
I feel like it does look a little risky to me to try and get another one in there. Just because of that wall of rocks.
Right behind. That red one isn't
Yeah.
easy to get out. The red that's on the back of the button isn't easy to get out. So if you're going to try to sit 2, you've got to promote one of your Yellowstones probably.
Yeah.
But you could
Yeah,
move it in an angle that makes it not very good either. So I think you have to make a play off of this redstone though. Maybe just hit it
I think,
and then
yeah.
or tap it back and roll a little bit towards the center line.
Yeah, to try and guard it. Because I believe, yeah, there's still a couple more rocks. So if you roll and you guard it, it saves them from hitting it out too.
Yeah, this is the second of the skip stones. So one for Carruthers, one for Yanagisawa remaining, and you can see the broom goes down right on that redstone. So it looks like a hit. And it looks like they might try to hit the red, catch that yellow, and see if they can push that red sideways, actually. So they are going to take it a little bit of a more aggressive shot at this. But it is there, like I said before, there is separation between that red stone, that second shot in the back of the button, and the yellow stone that's right behind it. There is separation. That means if you can catch it on a bit of angle, that slash angle that we're going to play right now, that red will move out of the button area. The question is, how far can they get it out?
Exactly, yeah.
Probably
Just
need some weight.
I feel like Reid can throw the weight for this for sure.
And then if you can keep your shooter right there, it would be brilliant. Let's see.
Oh, 100%. That'd be best case.
Carruthers trying a fancy shot here to try to sit multiple. Might even be able to sit 3 or 4 after this situation if it's hit well. There's that red that's going to go sideways, and it does go sideways. And now Team Carruthers, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think.
I think you're right, yeah.
Thanks for the camera work, Curling Stadium team.
That is a good amount of rocks in play for them right now.
And really, that red one sprung out pretty easily.
It did, yeah.
So,
it sprung out easier than I was expecting.
And like you said, you need some good weight to make it spring out that easily, but that can also be an indication that these rocks are pretty lively.
Yeah. What do you do here?
Pretty difficult situation. They just looked at whether they can hit that yellow stone thinly, the one that's on the right-hand side in the 8-foot from the overhead camera. It will come towards the center line and hit the back side of that yellow stone that's in the other side of the 8-foot, and then kind of squirt downward towards the button and see if they can outcount some of those yellow stones. Maybe if it all goes right, you may still have a chance to score. It looks really tough to score, but you can definitely cut them down to 1 or 2 even if this goes right. So they'll probably play some decent weight at this as well, because it's you have to carry them off 2 stones.
Move a lot of rocks. Yeah, you got to move a lot of rocks.
Yeah, Yanagisawa in some trouble. First and final stone tried to come off the yellow, squeeze through. It doesn't squeeze through, just too thick. It's a big steal of 4 for Reid Carruthers, and they jump out to an early lead after the first end.
Really?
Well, what a big first end, Haley, for Reid Carruthers there.
Definitely interesting just to see how one rock can change that whole house in
Yeah,
like a
for a long
second.
time, it didn't look like anyone was going to score more than one, just the way that the rocks were all congested together and stacked one on top of each other. But then one big weight shot from Reid Carruthers jiggled it enough, left them sitting 5, and then Yanagisawa really had no shot to score and had a really difficult shot just to cut things down. Managed to cut one of them out, but just hit the first rock too thick and couldn't get that squirting action through the port. So down by 4, Haley. Corner guards, right?
Yeah, corner guards for sure. If you want to end up trying to steal here, get some points on the board for you. Double corner guards, even if you have enough, but I do like corner guards here.
Yeah, I think with a 4-point deficit, you might be already thinking about double corner guards, even though it's the second end. I know you can sometimes be a little bit patient in the early part of the game. You're down by a couple. You don't necessarily need double corners. You have ends to claw back, but when you're down by 4, you feel a little bit more desperate to score those multiples.
Yeah, you feel a little more like we need to get some points here, and you kind of get, as you said, desperate. Yeah.
Still a long time in this game to go. We're only in the second end. 8 ends are these games, extra ends if required. And of course, for Team Carruthers, they don't need to take a lot of risk right now. They're just
They
going
can
to try
play
to,
defensively if they like.
yeah, as defensively as possible. And that's why they are going to go 2 rocks into the house. Now, it looks like, did he indicate a draw or a guard? I think he indicated a guard. He tapped somewhere in the house at
Yeah.
first for some reason, and that confused me. But I think he is indicating a guard.
Yeah, I think he's throwing up either a second corner or he's just going right in
Well,
behind of it.
maybe my first instinct was right. He did tap the house. He is going in. They
Ooh,
just
can he?
great sweep, and look at that, dead buried.
Oh, that was a nice shot.
Great shot.
Those shots always get my heart racing.
Yeah, excellent shots, Satoshi Koizumi, and of course the great sweeping from Yamamoto and Yamaguchi, making that one happen.
Those shots where you just paper the guards always make your heart drop for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, free guard zone still in effect right now, so you can't go and peel the guard yet. So I think they're going to try to come down to that red stone.
Yeah, that looks like what he picked for this one.
Maybe corner freeze it. I'm not sure if you can throw enough weight and push it back and out. Yeah, so what's corner freeze? And I think Riku will need to start to move those rocks in the top of the house, the yellow stones in the top of the house, creating a bit of congestion for their team. So I think they're trying to follow that Carruthers stone down, that yellow stone that was just thrown.
Yeah, just try and follow the path.
Yeah, but push it back, so kind of getting tight to the guard again, crossing the face a hair on that yellow stone. Maybe get a little flop behind the corner, but more importantly, I think they want to move that yellow stone to the back of the rings, maybe even completely out if they can. They're sweeping for the curl, so they might not quite get enough curl.
Ooh.
And they jam it on their redstone. Well, it's not that bad, actually, Haley. I mean, they've kept the redstone in the rings, both of them. That one is open, but the redstone that they just threw is actually nestled up against the Yellowstone.
Yeah, it's kind of be hard to get that one. Move that one anywhere if you were Carruthers right now.
Yeah, they're talking about peeling the corner guard. I actually really like peeling the corner guard into the one in the house. You don't
Yeah,
like
I
those
like
corner
that.
guards right now. Even if you just get the straight peel, I think it's pretty good. So I really like this call.
Yeah, and if you get the one in the house, it's kind of a two birds with one stone kind of situation.
Derek
Just gets the
Samogolski.
peel on that one.
Yeah, just missed that back stone.
It's all good. Yeah, if you're Carruthers, you don't really like the corner guards or mini guards at the moment with the lead you have.
Yeah, and it's a weird situation for Yanagisawa because you think without a guard in play and you're trying to get multiples, maybe you should put up the corner guard again. But at the same time, these Yellowstones that are in the rings are still a little bit of a problem for you because you've got to find a way to get rid of some of those Yellowstones at some point in the end because it's just blocking the forefoot and blocking the button.
Yeah, they're making it really hard for you to get in there and score a couple points.
So I think they want to jiggle them around. The question is how to jiggle them around so that you leave yourself with some really good angles.
Yeah, you gotta get the right angles here, or else it might not leave you with much more than you have right now.
Looks like they might play backline weights. Tap the top yellow onto the second yellow and push that second yellow that's in the 8-foot maybe back to the back 8. They've tapped another part of the ice. I'm not sure if they've changed their mind.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is we saw that these rocks do seem a little more lively, so they should get a good amount of movement out of them.
Well, let's see what they throw here. My guess is still a soft weight, backline weight type shot to change the angles, but
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what they're going for. I do like this shot. Nice.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly what we thought they were doing. Yellow onto yellow, move it into the back 4, back 8 area, create a bit of a wall of yellow stones behind the T line.
That is nice. Now they have a nice little spot to come and sit on to get their points with.
You don't have a red double on the top 2 reds. There may be a red double on the one in the top 8 and the one on the side of the 12.
The side one, yeah.
I actually like that call because I
think
think you wanted to remove red stones right now. There's too many of them in the rings for your comfort when you have a 4-point lead.
And I
So
think that's what he's going
I
for.
think so. That's where the broom is. So Jason Gunlitzen, he's good at hitting, so you got the right guy throwing it.
Very much. I admire how much he can hit.
So do us proud here, and we just gave you a compliment, and oh no, we jinxed him.
We did. Oh, that's my fault.
Sorry, Gunner. Well, now Yellow's still sitting, I think, 3, but 3 other red stones still in the rings, and now I think you need to start getting rid of some of the yellow stones, because your 3 are further away than the other 3, so you got to start removing the yellows to make your red rocks count.
Looks like he's coming down.
Yeah, you're getting into 3rd stones now, right? So you can't wait too long, or else you'll never have enough chances to get rid of all the yellows.
Yeah. I think they're looking at the small hit and roll here, which I don't mind. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good call as well. I mean, that gets rid of 1 rock, but then it gives you shot stone with a little bit of cover, right? So
yeah. Yeah, looks like they're just calling the lightweight hit and roll.
There is a slash double on the Yellowstone that's on the T line and the back 4. You'll probably lose the shooter if you play the slash double.
Probably, yeah.
But if you make it, you'll be sitting 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, so could have had some merit as well.
Yeah. It's like a high risk, high reward situation.
So they're looking for a little flop on the inside. I don't think they're going to roll inside.
Yeah. Just doesn't curl enough on that one. They still are sitting 2nd, I believe, at the moment, so it's still a good position to be in.
Yeah, and Reid's got to be very careful. He's got to try to make sure he doesn't set up yellow doubles for the other team right now.
Yeah,
the other problem he's got is he's got a double on those 2 reds. Unfortunately, the red, that 2nd shot, might jam into the yellow stone at the back if he tries that red double on the left side on the overhead view.
Yeah, he tries hitting that. He might jam it on their back yellow and leave it.
Yeah, the natural way to hit it will be a little bit on the kind of half a rock, and if you hit half a rock, you probably jam. So you can cheat a little bit and hit a little bit thicker and still make the double to avoid the jam. Yeah, just a little bit thicker, just like that, exactly.
Just like that.
When rocks are close together, you have a little bit more margin of error of which angle you hit it at, and you can get it a little bit thinner or thicker depending on how you want to avoid a jam, and that was very well called in terms of the line by Reid. Good throw by Jason Gunlickson as well. He's redeemed himself as a good hitter.
Yeah, we didn't jinx him that time. So I believe yellow is only 1st and 2nd now.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is the last of the 3rd stones. Again, I think you want to be hitting a yellow stone out, so try to bring some of those red stones back into play. The question is which one to hit out.
Yeah, you got to pick the right one here. Especially with it being last of 3rd rocks, you don't have many to throw around here.
I'm thinking you actually should hit that top 8 rock.
I think
it's blocking your path to the button right now. Yes, you can play the hidden roll in off the other yellow stone, but you're leaving the tap for brothers if you make that. This is the one that causes you some trouble.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what he's thinking right now too. We could go for the hit and roll, but I think we take this one out first.
Yeah, and the reason why he didn't want to play this one is it will leave a double for sure for Carruthers. There's no question it will leave some double. But I think it's so dangerous right now that if you don't move it, you could get yourself into more trouble. So they're really trying to carve it over here, Haley.
Yeah.
And they get a piece.
Just a little bit. It does open up the path now, though.
And they do slice it over. In fact, they've moved into a spot such that the yellows can be tripled off now, I think.
They can, yeah. I think, yeah, you hit it in the right spot. I think you can get all 3 of them.
Yeah, the rocks are set up in a approximately a 90-degree angle like that, a triple is always possible. Anything close to a 90-degree angle, a little bit less, a little bit more, you hit it on the right spot. So this is an important shot here. You want to hit and stick around. If you roll out now, the triple will be attempted probably. So
yeah.
Jason indicating a nose hit would be just fine here. It would sit 4 that way.
Definitely puts more pressure to make this next shot too.
Playing a soft weight hit here. Looking for nose.
Looking good so far. Might be a little off nose.
It'll be pretty close,
we're
yeah.
good.
Little roll to the outside. That won't hurt them at all.
I think they are looking at some sort of triple.
Yeah, I
maybe just a
still
double.
think you try the triple. Because if you make it, yellow's only sitting 1 stone in the rings, and Reid will have to be very, very careful on his last stone in terms of placement. So you absolutely give this triple a go right now.
I always love the upweight shots. Those ones are my favorite.
Triple being tempted here. Up weight. Close-ish.
Oh.
Just jammed it.
That's okay.
Again, good news is the double is still on for those 2 yellows. So again, Reid still has to be very careful on his final stone in terms of placement. Although I think if he can play it just a hidden stick on that red stone that's on the side of the 8, just biting the 8, the 10 o'clock position from the overhead camera, there won't be a triple. Even if he rolls in a bit, there won't be a triple. So
no. Yeah, I think either way he hits that, I think the only thing there would be the double on those 2 or the draw.
Yeah, so I think you just draw in that case to the backing.
Yeah.
Can't roll out here. Still needs to stick in the rings.
Yeah, he rolls out. I feel like they definitely attempt the double.
For sure, it's for multiples.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Carruthers, his last of the second end, up by 4 without last rock here. Sweepers here pretty happy with it. There's the hit.
Nice.
Rolls it a little bit to the inside. Well, maybe there is a triple here. Just how far it rolled.
Yeah, I think you might have an opportunity to get them out with this one. Even if you do the double and you roll up a little bit, you're still sitting.
Yeah, so you definitely can make the triple, and if you don't quite make it, you can still get your 1 this way. Obviously, the draw to the button is the easiest way for 1, but when you're down by 4 and you're given an opportunity like this to score 3 back, you should
definitely
give it a go.
Exactly, definitely take it.
They're lining this up because you want to hit kind of the top side of the yellow that's on the back of the 4, so that your shooter will spin upwards into the other yellow stone that's on the tee line.
Yep.
They need to get this rock to kind of go around the horn and back up.
Yeah. Definitely would need a lot of weight on this one to be able to spin up and knock it out.
Yeah, for that momentum, that rock that's on the tee line has to move 5 feet, 6 feet even to score the 3. So
yeah, it's got to move a good amount.
Well, I saw Riku in the finals of Martinsville last week made incredible redirect double, and the angle on that double was so difficult, almost for 3, made it for 2. We didn't even know if it was there. This is a chance for a triple for 3 as well.
Whoop.
He makes the double. He sits right there for a
1.
single point, so he gets his 1. He's on the
That's
board.
Still good. That
still
is still good.
4-1 after 2 ends. Carruthers will have the hammer back in the 3rd. Welcome back to Curling Stadium, Alberta Series Leduc Major. We're into the quarterfinals. If you're just joining us, my name is Jason Chang. With me is Haley Britton. Really busy end in the second for these two teams. Carruthers probably felt a little uncomfortable throughout that whole end.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they were sitting, shot, second shot, even third shot most of the end, they definitely didn't want to see 2, 3, 4 red stones piling up on the sides of the rings, but they escaped with just giving up 1. Yanagisawa almost made it a great shot for multiples if he could have made that triple. That was a tough triple, though.
It was definitely tough. It was there, but definitely a tough one to attempt.
Well, there's a bit of a mistake from Team Carruthers' lead. Connor Negevin, that was supposed to be in the house, and it comes up short, ends up being a guard. Wondering if Yanagisawa will play up another guard, being down by 3, trying to put up more in the front.
I think you would. Put a double center and try and get your points up. It's definitely an interesting game. Both ends have been very full of rocks, so
it looks like we have a number of Japanese fans following this game online. Very curious where they're living. Any of them from Karuizawa, the home rink of this team.
And a nice come-around draw.
Yeah, we thought they might play another guard, but they decided to just go right in here. It is free guard zone, but you can peel your own guards, so that's what they're discussing right now. I think they may not peel it. They might just push it into the rings and roll the shooter away.
Yeah, because I don't think they like where it is right now, how it's guarding that red, so they just push it in and give them something to play with later.
Nice shot.
Like one will stick around.
Yeah, they're hoping
Perfect,
the other one backspins, but that one was pretty hard to keep in. Getting that one rock into the rings is objective number 1. They got rid of the guard as well that was covering the redstone, so Really well executed shot, well thought out.
And looks like they're throwing up another guard, which is what we thought they were going to do.
Yeah, they're just deciding which position to guard it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just leaving, looks like, the redstone that's in the house open. They just want to position this guard in a really good spot. So instead of guarding the redstone, they're more worried about getting two guards in a nice spot. And the reason is Team Carruthers can start peeling on the next stone. So you don't want to set up double peels, right? So if they're guarding the redstone, they could potentially double peel the red guard into the red guard. They put this redstone on the other side of the center line, kind of in front of the yellow stone. Team Carruthers has to worry about jamming any double peel attempt into that yellow. So
yeah, I definitely like where they're gonna place this one. And it looks to be pretty good. Might slide a little deep, but still pretty good.
Not bad. No easy double peel there.
Definitely not. Cannot tell by the overhead if it's just in or if it's just out, though.
Yeah, tough to see from this angle. It's hard to know unless you're right over top of the rock, right?
Yeah.
We're centered over the button area, so I thought they actually might go up and peel the top guard just to get rid of one of them. They've decided to play the open stone in the house and roll behind the center. This is a more, I guess, aggressive play, try to score type of play. But it is dangerous to also leave those center guards up.
Very, because if Yanagisawa gets one in behind there, it's definitely hard to get out.
Yeah, they might have been rolling away all the way there. It was pretty tough to roll inside, so they rolled away. Now Yanagisawa will try to roll in behind all those rocks.
Yeah, those are two perfectly lined up center guards, so to take advantage of those would definitely be perfect right now.
Just taking a look at the chat, some of the Japanese folks are from Karuizawa,
Oh, cool.
but also from other places around Japan. Japan is one of my favorite countries in the world to visit. I've had a chance to visit on a couple of occasions for work, for personal reasons. Spent 2 months there once for work.
Nice. I've never been, but I've always wanted to go.
And in fact, I've actually curled in Japan during those 2 months I was there for a work exchange. So I did visit the stadium or the arena in Karuizawa. It's a beautiful arena. They hosted, of course, the Nagano Olympic Games curling. Got the electronic scoreboards there, a great seating area. They're hosting tournaments.
Nice.
And I know
that would be an awesome experience.
But I was curling with some Tokyo Curling Club members where there was a couple of other curling facilities near there. And that's where the Tokyo Curling Club lives. So I was based in Tokyo on my work exchange. Had to take a bullet train into that area. I think it might have taken up to 2 hours. I don't even remember. Those bullet trains go fast, but it wasn't that close. And then a local train to the local town, which I can't remember the name of. Then I got picked up by one of the club members and driven to the curling club.
Whew. The things we do for curling.
And the guy I curled with at that time, his name was Komatsu. So Komatsu-san, if you're watching, it's a big shout out to you. Team Carruthers now running the guard in, trying to catch the red on the side. If they can, just goes over the top, but they realize the double guards is not helping them, so trying to clean things up a little bit out of front.
Yeah, get something out of there so they have it nice and open for their last shot.
And as I mentioned in the earlier broadcast to you, Haley, I curl for Hong Kong. I'm born in Hong Kong, so we get to play the Japanese team in the past at the Pacific Asia Championships. So I've had a chance to play against Yamaguchi, not with this iteration of the team, but when he had played with Yosuke Morozumi.
Nice.
They've got a lot of good curlers on both the men's and women's side. Obviously, their most famous curler is Satsuki Fujisawa.
Yes, yeah.
She is such a superstar in that country.
Oh, she's a really good curler. I love her. I love watching on like the Grand Slams whenever they come over, and they're so much fun to watch too.
They have a lot of fun when they're on the ice. They never seem upset at each other, never seem down at themselves. If they miss a shot, they just kind of brush it off, say, hey, that's just curling, we missed one, it's okay. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really love that about them because that's what the game's about, right? Having fun, and everyone's gonna miss a shot, but you pick yourself back up and make the next one.
And in 2020, I was looking forward very much to going back to Japan. The Pacific Asia Curling Championships were going to be held in a new curling facility in Wakkanai, Japan, up in the North Island of Hokkaido. Unfortunately, we know what happened to the world. We had a pandemic. Those Pacifics were canceled. And I'm still waiting for the next time we get to go back to Japan, or have a chance to go back to Japan and play in Wakkanai.
Yeah, that pandemic really put a wrench in things.
Yeah, it seemed like everyone was playing in Calgary for the whole year because of the pandemic. You're in a bubble in Calgary. You're in another bubble in Calgary.
Yeah. I remember when I was doing my podcast a bit back, I interviewed Lisa Weigel while she was in the bubble, and she said it was definitely a bit boring at times because you didn't really see anything else other than the four walls of your hotel room, but definitely an interesting experience.
Yeah, we're getting down here to the latter stones of this end. Team Carruthers, I think, in pretty good shape. I mean, they're sitting second shot right now, but there's not a lot of rocks congesting the forefoot, right?
Yeah.
So they've always got to draw to the forefoot to score. They've actually got both turns right now still. They still might be able to figure out a way to score a couple in this end. So looking at what to do here.
Yeah.
I like this call, removing this top redstone.
I do.
And if you can catch the other redstone on the back, that'd be a bonus.
Would be perfect, yeah. This end is looking a lot cleaner than the other ones too. Just catches that back one.
Nice shot. The shooter
very nice.
Kicked the other yellow stone out, it looks like, right? So they're only sitting one.
Yeah.
There is still a guard in play, so a blank would be great for Carruthers, but still an opportunity for Yanagisawa to force here if you can get one behind the guard. The only problem with that guard is it's really high. Even if you get it really buried, you can probably play a hit and still blank the end. So that's why they're deciding not to play the hit and roll here. I think they might be actually putting up another guard, even a tight guard.
Yeah, I think that was their plan. Put up another tight guard close to the house and then come around it afterwards, I think.
Yeah, it is very late to be doing that because they are in skip stones, but I think they really don't want this end to be blanked out. They either want Carruthers to get forced or them to have a chance at a steal. So let's see how this works out for them. It is aggressive, but they're playing the scoreline here.
Yeah. Definitely it's a bit late for it, but I'm interested to see on what their plan is.
Yeah, they are playing that guard, so you can see Yamaguchi-san, where his broom is, that's where they want this stone to stop.
That would be perfect.
having a look at the chat again. Yes, I did work in Japan for a couple of months. I was on an intercompany work exchange. The company I worked for in Canada was a natural resources company, and our major shareholder was Mitsui. And so I was working out of the Mitsui office for a couple of months and had a chance to travel to visit customers and clients and business partners.
That's so much fun. Get to travel.
Yeah, it was. When it's business travel and its expenses are paid for, that's the best way.
That's a plus.
And those Shinkansen, the Japanese bullet trains, they are the best. They are so on time. If they're like 2 minutes off time, it's like a travesty, right? It's never not on time.
Yeah.
And here we are in North
Always,
America,
yeah.
and buses and subways are always late.
Always late. I was taking a train the other day, and it was really early at the station, but somehow I ended up getting there late where we were going. It was weird.
Yeah, so Carruthers doesn't like this guard, obviously. So
No,
he's going to peel it away. He's going to try to preserve the blank opportunity. So now the decision goes over to Yanagisawa and says, is he going to play the hit and roll now? I think he probably will.
Yeah.
He can roll it perfectly behind the guard. It will make the blank very tricky. Reid might decide to just draw for his one if it's perfectly behind. If he can see a piece, I would imagine he'd go for the blank.
Yeah. Imagine he would, take that, take his hammer into the fourth, and try and get more there.
And the Japanese fans are right. Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi was playing some mixed doubles with Fujisawa-san. I actually played them at the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championships a few years ago.
Oh, really?
They beat us pretty good, actually, but it was a lot of fun for us. And because we've known both those teams through the Pacific Championships for a long time, it was a very friendly game. Even though we were trying to upset them, and they were obviously playing hard to make the playoff round. They actually finished, I believe, fourth at that World Championships. If I'm not mistaken, can't remember exactly. Or they may have just lost the match to get into the semifinal. They did make the playoff round out of our pool.
Nice. I love mixed doubles. I've dabbled in it a little bit, but it's definitely fun to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah, very fast paced. Well, this is a very easy blank for Carruthers. He just got to throw this one through. Just clean it all the way down to make sure it doesn't pick. And stop in the rings. So, Team Carruthers, they'll hold a 4-1 lead going into the fourth end of play. We're back, fourth end, Curling Stadium, Alberta Series, Leduc Major, presented by Global Machine and Supply. A blank end in that last end brings us to this juncture of the game. And Haley, being down by 3 still, I imagine Yanagisawa is going to keep putting up those center guards, double center guards probably.
Yeah, you're getting hungry for points at this point, trying to get a little higher on the board.
Yeah, and not only that, you don't want blank ends either. That's probably the worst, right? You'd rather have Carruthers get forced to one, take the hammer back, and try to score multiples when you have hammer. The blank, they're just running down those ends on you, and of course, only an 8-end game. So
exactly. Yeah, an 8-end game turns to a 7 when you have a blank and you need the points. Yeah, definitely want to put up some guards, get some more points this end.
Yeah, and the fans noting that Fujisawa just won the Advix Cup, which is a big tournament on the curling tour in Japan, and there's a bunch of big tournaments now. I think there's the Hokkaido Bank, the Advix Cup. There's a couple more as well. I can't remember their names right now. But what I love about the Japanese bonspiels when I see them is the winner gets $1,000,000 yen, which just sounds way much more than $10,000, but it's about $10,000
And it is.
in Canadian. But when it comes,
That's still pretty good,
but
though.
when it goes up, when they've got that big novelty check and it says 1,000,000, it just feels so much more.
Yeah, it gives you like a whoa, like it gives you the big eyes. Yeah. Well, congratulations to Fujisawa and her team. That's a big accomplishment. That's for sure.
And they get more and more international teams going over playing in Japan as well now. It's not just the international teams coming to Canada. Canadian teams now and American teams are going over to Europe, going over to Japan to play. And I know that the hospitality that the teams get when they play in those Japanese events is spectacular. And I think that boils down a lot, some of it obviously to having great sponsors, but I think the Japanese culture is always so warm and welcoming to guests. Every time I've been to Japan, they just go all out when you're a guest. They just make you want to feel like that, so welcome. So that's why I want to go back and curl in Wakanai because we never got that chance.
Yeah, I would love to curl over there at some point in my career. It sounds like a wonderful place to curl for sure.
The other reason why I want to go to Wakanai is in Japan there's 4 main islands, right? There's the main island where Tokyo is, Honshu, and then there's 2 smaller islands. I've actually been to all 3 of those islands. I haven't been up north to Hokkaido. That's where Sapporo is located as well. And winter sports, obviously, being in the north part of Japan, very, very popular. Well, the double center guards did go up. Team Carruthers had one Yellowstone that was a little bit short, one that was a little bit deep. Now that one's a little bit short, but that's a good shot still. Even though it's short, it is in the top of the rings. It's kind of buried.
It's a little buried by the guard, I think Reid's looking at taking out right now, but it's also a little bit behind that yellow too.
Yeah, and Reid has to deal with the guards because the guards is the most dangerous thing for him. So what you're hoping for if you're Team Japan right now is to not leave a double peel, right? As long as Reid's making single peels, you'll have more opportunities to put up a better guard. You can maybe go in at an opportune time. I think I'd be tempted to put up another guard here rather than going in.
Yeah, I would too. Right now, you have a nice path to draw in. You got some backing with Carruthers Rock there, and yeah, I think you just throw up another guard and try and protect your stones that are sitting there.
I think you have to protect this kind of red, yellow, red situation. If you go in, I think Carruthers blasts that completely away. You can make the triple, lose the shooter, and then you've got nothing protecting anything, and then the steal's going to get very difficult. The force is going to get difficult because Carruthers will then try to go for another blank run. So I think another guard guarding that, basically that similar spot.
Yeah, I would like a similar spot because I do feel like Carruthers definitely would attempt that big blast to try and get those rocks out of there or at least moved.
Yeah, Yanagisawa goes up to that same spot to show their sweepers where exactly he wants it, and pretty much exactly where it was before. So Reid,
there's a perfect guard. I like that.
Repeat the same shot. I learned a little bit of Japanese. I would say the onaji shot if I was curling in Japan right now.
I love when you get to curl with other curlers from, different countries or places like that, and you get to learn a bit of their language or a bit of like their talk, like how they say things in curling while you're
Yeah,
curling with them. Like I curled with some people from Scotland and they use different terminology than we do, and it's so interesting to learn all that.
yeah, and the key is knowing some of the words for the type of shot, like a draw or a
Mhm.
hit. But a lot of the times you don't even need to know because we use those broom signals for that. The other
Yeah.
thing is more difficult thing is when you're sweeping. Uh, but if you're using the number system, as long as you know the numbers in Japanese, you can communicate where that rock is landing, and
Yeah.
that's the key, right? Knowing your numbers. Then you can sweep, and you're as a thrower, you just look at the broom signals that the skip's giving you, and uh,
Mhm.
and you can communicate pretty effectively. And then the other word I was saying before was onaji, which means the same. So sometimes you repeat
Mhm.
the same
The
shot,
same.
just say onaji.
Nashi. Just throw that guard right back up. It's almost in the same spot, a little over, a little more.
Yeah, I think obviously the last stone peel that was attempted left that corner guard, which is not good for Carruthers because it's
Mhm.
actually guarding a potential draw path to the forefoot for him.
Yeah, that come around on that side definitely is blocked off with that now.
It's also hard to hit that red stone that's in the top 12. Now, at the present time, Reid doesn't
Mhm.
need to hit that stone because they do have shot rock in the back of the 8, but I think sooner or later
Yeah, now with
you go in here, Haley, or one more guard. I think maybe one
Mhm.
more guard.
Yeah, I think you throw up one more just to see how much, and then you can go in. Yeah, but definitely with this, the last rock that I was throwing, that yellow, it's definitely making that hit on that red harder now. It's kind of narrowing the playing field. Yeah, I like throwing up another guard in the same spot here. Still good, just over a little bit further, but I think it still works as a good guard.
Yeah, it's still a good guard. You might see Reid make a play on those red, yellow, reds now,
Yeah. Would
but
have liked to take the guard over a little more, but yeah, I think he's attempting that.
he's going to attempt it.
Knowing how lively these stones are, we might get a lot of movement with these, so.
Just by the guard, those 3 rocks spring out
Mm,
really easily. The yellow one, if it stays in the rings, it does. That's a great shot.
that is good.
You've sprung
That
out
is good for team.
both reds. You've kept the yellow in play.
Mm-hmm. It was a very nice play on that little mess of rocks there for Team Carruthers.
Yeah, so now as you come down to skip stones, you have to find a way to hide one of your stones. They're talking about drawing
Yeah.
behind the corner. They're now talking about playing up another guard.
They do like their guards. I feel at this point with the 2 yellows, I would want to try and hide something in there.
They've
Because we are down
briefed.
to skip rocks, right?
That's right, it is getting very late. They
Mm-hmm.
looked at maybe very briefly the hidden roll on that shot stone at the back.
I
I
don't mind.
think I think what they're thinking is I can't draw this into a great spot right now. Not sure you
Yeah.
can actually draw it behind the corner guard. The hidden roll behind the corner is quite precise.
Mm.
You can draw around that center guard as well, but that guard is pretty high, so you do have a lot of room to come back and just tap it. So I think they want a better guard to go around. One where it's hard to peel as well. If they try to peel, there's a couple of stones in the house that it could jam on. So
yeah. And they do have another one, so they could always go around this one after, which I think is what their plan is.
Yeah, which actually just shows you the confidence of Yanagisawa, that he's okay leaving all the marbles on the line on his last stone and playing a setup shot in his first stone. Just rubs
off that one. It still leaves a nice guard. It's not where they wanted it, but you can still use it. It blocks off the draw path for Carruthers, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think you have to peel the guards.
Mm-hmm.
The guards right now, there's no port to come through either if Yanagisawa draws around them. So that's really a guard that red situation is like a guard that's 3 rocks wide right now. It's covering a lot of space.
Yeah, it really is. So you gotta get this one out if you're Reid, that's for sure. Gotta clear it up. Yeah, because if Yanagisawa gets one in there, I feel like if you don't clear these ones out now, it'll be hard to get it out.
Just want to be a little bit careful not to jam it onto that Yellowstone that's close to the house, and maybe even spin the red back into the house. So person in the house, Jason Gunlisson, he's going to be calling line. Make sure you get this peel done the right way. Push it through those guards. Yep, and I think that's all they wanted.
Yeah.
Right now, if Yanagisawa goes around that guard and makes it perfect, you have a draw to the button, or the forefoot anyways. Hard to get to the button because both sides have corner guards, so you're probably just drawing to the forefoot in that case.
Yeah.
But even right now, it's hard for Yanagisawa to be even shot rock with the draw, because it's hard to catch a lot of that forefoot, and you do need a piece to be shot stone. So
yeah, it's hard to get the forefoot and still be hidden behind that red guard.
And that red guard is only about halfway, so there is still room. If you come down to the T-line-ish, there is room for Carruthers to come with a soft weight tap for 2 or 3 points as well. So
exactly, you gotta place it in the perfect spot here. I think if you're Yanagisawa, get it in the right position, or else I feel like Carruthers gonna take advantage of it.
yeah, the other option is still there, which is the hit and roll on that back stone. Also, precise shot. I think he just went and had a look to see the sweeper there. Just wanted to see how much of the forefoot they needed to bite.
Yeah, I don't mind this, and as you said, the hit and roll. I feel like it's an option, but the roll is pretty hard to get it in the right spot. But you do get one of the yellows out, though.
Yeah, in this case, if it was a closer game, you'd probably see the hit and roll with a 3-point deficit. Whether you're giving up 2 or whether you're giving up 3, it probably doesn't make that big of a difference. You're not looking good in the game.
Yeah.
But they really want to force or steal here. This is an all-in shot. It's now all sweepers. If the weight is good, it's all sweepers. And they put it in the right spot. Now going straight side, try to get a piece of the 4. Just over curls a hair, but you know what? It actually had to over curl a hair to be fully buried. It was almost impossible to be fully buried. I don't think you could have been fully buried without over curling or without touching the forefoot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, to get it fully buried, I don't think you were getting that much of the 4. You do limit Reid's scoring to 2 if he makes the draw, but yeah, I would have liked that to bite 4 a bit.
Still a really good shot. I mean, very precise. Really had 100%. A small area to hit, and the sweepers did a pretty good job of it.
100%. That was a very nice come around the guard for sure.
That's one of those shots where if you were a scorekeeper, it's actually hard to give a score for because technically they didn't make the shot because they wanted to be shot stone. So you're supposed to make a deduction, but that shot was almost perfect. It was like an inch or two away from perfection. In most cases, you would score that as a made shot, but in this case, because of how it wasn't, it wouldn't normally get the full marks just because it wasn't shot stone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, last rock, trying to get 2 here. Just a simple draw to the 4-foot for 2. Sweepers look like they like it. Just guiding it in now. Great close-up shot onto the 4-foot. It is 2 points for Team Carruthers. They're going to extend their lead 6-1 in this quarterfinal match halfway through the game. Well, a 6-1 lead, Haley, for Team Carruthers over Team Yanagisawa. If you're just joining us, my name is Jason Chang. With me, Haley Britton. What do you think about that first half? All Team Carruthers so far.
It's been a lot of rocks and a good amount of points. It's still a good amount of game left to get back, but definitely a big lead by Carruthers right now.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to stay focused. For the Japanese team, you have the 5 rock free guard zone rule in play. You've got last rock right now in the 5th. They know how to play the game and score points. A couple of guards for sure, a couple of corner guards. And see if you can get 2 or 3 back in this end. Sometimes you just need one mistake from the other team, right?
Exactly, yeah, and it's a game of inches, so you anything can happen really. You just gotta take a breath and play your game almost.
Now, Connor Negevin, he is well known, I think, to Japanese fans because I believe he was coaching one of the Japanese teams. I can't remember which one. If our Japanese fans remember, please tell me.
I'm sure someone out there knows. I feel that sounds familiar, but I can't remember the team.
I want to say it was Team Fortius was the name, but I don't remember who skips that team.
Mm-hmm.
They often have, name their teams after either a company sponsor or just some slogan that they particularly like.
Interesting.
They were teaching the Torikoana team. Yes, thanks very much. Well, there's the first corner guard. It's a tight corner. Carruthers will, I'm guessing, throw a second one into the rings because I don't think Team Yanagisawa will hit it. They'll throw up another corner, and then Team Carruthers will guard the 2 rocks in the ring using their 3rd rock. That's my guess of how this is going to go down.
Yeah. That is one of the downfalls with doing the double corner. You give the other team more time to put more of their rocks in the house, but I do feel the double corner is a nice payout when played right and used good.
Yeah, and for Team Yanagisawa, they don't really have a lot of choice. Down by 5, they really need to use the double corners now.
Yeah. Need to grab some points in there.
Well, Coach Negevin just made a little bit of a mistake there. That shouldn't have come so deep. It didn't come in line with the 2 stones as well. So you can't actually guard both stones with 1 rock now, right? So a little mistake. Let's see if that mistake costs them later in the end. There is a correction, a fact check on the YouTube chat. They now believe Connor is coaching Team Yoshimura, which
that
sounds
sounds familiar.
correct to me.
Yeah.
And Jim Cotter is coaching Team Koana. Jim Cotter
thank
out
you,
of
chat.
BC.
Thank you, chat.
Double corners were played. I think they wanted those stacked up a little bit better because there is a double teal possible on those corners. Can't do it yet. Reid's playing the tight guard, I believe.
Yeah, we definitely would have liked those a little more stacked, but they're still good. You can still use them.
Actually, I think they
still
wanted
a nice amount of coverage.
Yeah, I think Reid actually wanted to play that in because they kind of swept it in as well. Maybe it was already heavy and they just cleaned it in. I don't know, because Reid also doesn't really love guards, but being up 5 points. The problem with putting them in, though, is you allow Team Yanagisawa to maybe rearrange them into a better spot, like pushing them back to the rings, create that wall as we're talking about. Maybe playing a soft hidden roll behind the corner off of them.
Yeah, and I believe it was the second end. They moved the rocks around and they had a bunch of angles to play with. So I feel like that's what they're going to try and do here and give themselves a better opportunity instead of with those nice little clump of yellows.
They might just ignore the clump of yellows right now and just draw around the guards first. And the reason is they know pretty much that Reid's going to go and try to peel the guards on the next shot. So they don't need to move the yellows yet. They can always move the yellows later because Reid's going to go peel the corner. So just get one buried first.
Looks like a nice come around so far.
Yeah, they want to curl this as much as possible. Almost get it behind the other guard because obviously Reid's going to make contact with the top stone playing this double peel. So the top stone is going to move.
It does look like it's behind that other one, so it is a nice shot by the Team Yanagisawa.
Haley, you've got a fan, Coach Glenn Pauly.
That's my coach. Hello, Glenn.
Coach Glenn.
Coach Glenn.
Got the single peel there.
All right. Still looking pretty good. They still have that rock behind their guard, which is nice. I do believe they're going to throw up that other guard again.
You definitely can throw up another guard here.
Yeah, try and just get that
you
double
definitely can. It is going to be a bit of a cat and mouse game here, Haley, because at some point, Reid's going to decide, okay, it's too late to keep peeling the guards. I'm going to just protect my 3 stones that are shot rock and throw up a tight guard and protect it, and then you've got to have a hell of a shot to move them around.
100%, yeah.
So you're trying to delay to a certain extent, but at the same time, you can't keep delaying. At some point, you will have to make a play on those yellow stones. And it's just timing, right? You got to get the timing right.
Yeah, you got to know when to not pull back, but you got to know when to be able to play with the other rocks. Yeah. Does look a little... Yeah, nice little double guard. Feel like that might leave double peel if he hits it with enough weight.
Yeah, the double peel is there. I think the question is, where does that red stone spin off? Does it...
Exactly, yeah.
If it spins into the rocks in the house, the yellow stones in the house, you might still play it even if it spins into it. You
Mhm.
don't want the double guards there.
Yeah. I feel like if you hit it at the right angle, it might spin and just sit in front of those yellows, which they might not mind, but yeah, I feel like you just play this with enough weight and you should be able to get them far enough apart.
Yeah, you've got Jason Gunlickson throwing it, so we
Mhm.
talked about his big weight.
Yeah, he's got the weight for it for sure. Yeah, and just gets those out of there.
Yep, no problem. Great shot.
Made that look easy, that's for sure.
Yeah, we jinxed them once, but we couldn't jinx them more than once, so
Yeah.
for a moment I thought we had superpowers after we jinxed them the first time.
Yeah, we're like, wait a minute, hold on.
He's not supposed to miss a hit like that.
Yeah, clearly can't jinx them more than once. So yeah, now you just decide where to put this rock.
Yeah, I think it's time to move these yellows. Tapping them back probably is a good call.
Yeah, just move them around so you have a little more, maybe have some backing to try and nuzzle one in there.
That's exactly the idea.
It's looking pretty good. Just taps that one back, but it does leave their red in a pretty good spot where it's hard to get it out, I believe.
Have to be a little bit careful, but I think if you can hit a quarter rock, a third of a rock, red will probably go. You'll lose the shooter, but you'll still sit 3 if you can pick it off cleanly. There is space. You might get lucky and catch the other red on the way by as well.
Yeah, that would definitely be a bonus for Team Carruthers in this situation. Get that other red out. You have to hit it in the right spot though, or else it jams on those yellows. But we do have Jason Gunlickson throwing, so
They are
yeah,
sweeping this
he
for a
just gets
line,
that
but
back.
yeah, gets both. Never in doubt. Now there is a bit
Yeah.
of a better pocket though to freeze to.
There is, yeah. You have a bit of a more better backing almost, because you can still tap those, but I do like where this one will end up if they put it there.
You just freeze it on the center line, on top of both those yellow stones.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I feel if you hit that one anywhere,
Well
you're
played there.
jamming on something.
Yeah, now you have to think, okay, probably you don't want to hit this situation because you are sitting 2 right now
Mm-hmm.
for Team Carruthers.
Yeah, I feel like
You want to
if you hit, it loses it.
you're going to lose those 2. Red's going to be shot stone. You can hit it, and then maybe try to hit the red one out on your next shot. But there's only 2 rocks left for you right now, and you're sitting 2. So I think you throw
Yeah.
something in the top of the rings, like they were indicating. It's kind of a guard. Force
It's a
the
guard,
other
but it's
team
still
to make the
in,
play.
yeah.
Yeah, force the other team to move the rocks because don't move it for them.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, sometimes the best guard is in the house.
Yeah, absolutely. Gunlinson is having another look at this.
I do feel like he likes those up weights, so I wouldn't blame him if he's looking at it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he throws it very, very hard. Reid can throw it
Hmm.
pretty hard, but I think Gunner beats Reid on the hardness of the throw scale.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to call the right shot for the right person as well, right, Haley?
Yeah. You gotta know who's throwing to call that shot.
Reid Carruthers, his first skip stone of the fifth end. They've got a pretty commanding 5-point lead right now.
Hmm.
Looking to stop this in the top 8. But they come right to it. That's okay as well. It's right on the nose, so pretty good actually.
And it's just interesting to see that. I know the European team started doing it, but the sweeping with the broom head at a different angle now. Just noticed that Yanagisawa's team was doing it, and now that Carruthers' team is doing it as well, it's kind of spreaded across the ocean, I guess you could say.
Right, whether you're using that thin part of the pad to go across the
Hmm.
across the path, or that narrower part of the broom going across the path. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, how they were like, instead of putting the broom head almost horizontally, you use it vertically.
Vertically, yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that, like, pretty sure it was the Scottish teams doing it when I first noticed it, and now it's kind of spread to different teams.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of curling sweeping was just trial and error, right? And teams
Hmm.
see what works, and in some cases, I think your coach Glenn Pauly himself does a lot of sweep studies, to help his curling teams. So he
Oh
might have
yeah.
some proprietary information that he won't share in that chat. But if he wants to share anything, feel free.
Oh yeah. I'm excited to have a sweeping guru as a coach, that's for sure.
And of course, those researchers like Glenn are using smart brooms with sensors and
Hmm.
you know infrared cameras and all sorts of fancy things to look at what
Yeah.
different sweeping techniques are doing to the ice and doing to the path of the stones and the speed of the stones.
Yeah, I've gotten to use a smart broom a couple times, and it's interesting to see. You can see like your push compared to your pull weight, and it's very cool technology that I'm glad is coming to the sport.
So I think they're trying to freeze another stone on the corner of the yellows.
Try and get something they can use in there.
Well,
Closes the gap between those two yellows.
yeah, it's pretty good. I think the two yellow
Hmm.
stones that are shot in second shot can go away pretty easily by just hitting that
Hmm.
top yellow stone, right? The yellow onto the red
Yeah,
will kill those back two yellows. So you know
I
you can
feel like that's yeah.
score that way.
Yeah, if I were Reed, I'd be looking at trying to block that or somehow get rid of it because I feel like that is a good shot for Team Yanagisawa to do to be able to get a couple points on the board.
So building on that thought, Haley, if
Mhm.
Reid just guards, plays a center line guard, let's say, guards
Mhm.
that yellow stone, which guards the yellow red double yellow combination, what would Yanagisawa do to
It's
score?
late for you. It's okay.
Or yeah, it's late or very early. Yeah, if for everyone who doesn't know, I'm in Lausanne, Switzerland right now.
Oh.
It is nearing, well, just turned 5 a.m. I've been up all
Ooh.
night. We just finished the annual General Congress, the closing dinner. I packed. Jerry Gertz said, do you want to stay up a little bit more to cover one more game? I had joked with him earlier that, well, the way for me to not miss my flights at 10:45 in the morning is to not sleep at night. Then I won't oversleep the morning. And covering this game will basically take me to the time I need to go to have breakfast and then get out of the hotel and onto a train and to Geneva Airport. So that's why I'm here right now. I thought I wasn't going to be talking to the fans or you until another week, but here I am.
Just need to grab a couple coffees to get yourself through like the train ride for sure. But yeah, I think he's going for the red yellow here, but if he were to guard, I don't know what he would have done
Yeah, he
here.
just wants to get to the inside of the red stone that Yanagisawa just played. Sit right there. That's a really good shot.
Yeah, that takes away that yellow red double yellow
Yeah, it's
that was
maybe
there.
still there, but it's a little bit more awkward. You'd have to hit it harder, actually. It will probably still catch the red, that top yellow, but because it's going to come off the other yellow first, you will probably have to throw it a bunch harder.
A bunch harder, and I don't think you will. Yeah, if you still hit it nose, it would be there, but you definitely need a lot more weight. That's for sure.
This is the only shot he's got to score, so gotta go for it. And I'm pretty sure your redstone is never going to disappear, so you can hit it as hard as you want, I think.
Yeah, I think it's in a perfect spot that it's not really gonna go anywhere.
Final stone down 6-1. Riku Yanagisawa needs a big shot here to try to get one to extend this game. He makes it.
And they do it.
Oh, almost got enough action to score 2, actually, but
yeah, that was very close.
It is a single point for Team Yanagisawa. They close the gap 6-2, but Team Carruthers still in control.
And it looks like they are shaking.
Oh, and they are. They are calling it a game. It is Team Carruthers. They win this quarterfinal match. They're going to move on to the semifinals, and they are actually going to await the winner of another game that's on the ice right now. They're on the bottom side of the draw, so they're waiting for the winner of Marco Husley and Ryan Weeb. And of course, we have John Epping, Tanner Horgan on the top side of the draw. Yannick Schwaller playing against Aaron Schlazinski. Well, what did you think about this game? Pretty dominating performance for Team Carruthers.
It was a pretty. They came out early with that 4 in the first and just kind of held it there. But definitely, I loved how the Rocks were in play. I love how we got to think. They got to think. It was definitely an interesting game to watch. That's for sure.
And as mentioned, 5 other games. Excuse me, not 5 other games, 3 other games being streamed simultaneously right now on the Curling Zone YouTube channel. I'm just having a quick look at some of the scores. John Epping leading Tanner Horgan 4-2, Yannick Schwaller leading Aaron Schlazinski 6-2, Brian Weeb leading Marco Husley 4-3, and of course our final 6-2, Carruthers beating Yanagisawa. Well, that brings us to the end of coverage of this game.
It does.
We do want to remind the viewers that this is the last draw for tonight. The semifinal draw happening tomorrow as well as the final. It's 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And then, actually, I don't want to get this wrong. Is it 10 a.m. Mountain Time and 1:30 Mountain Time? I
believe so.
I just lost my notes, so I'm making stuff up now.
Here, I can look for the times. Let's see. I believe you are correct on that, though. It is 10 a.m. for the first one.
And of course, you just have to go to the Curling Zone YouTube channel. You can click on the links.
They're all on there.
They're all on there. Well, Haley, it's great being on this broadcast with you. I'm looking forward to coming back to Canada, playing a couple Bonspiels in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But Team Carruthers, they're into the semifinals.
Into the semis, yeah. Well, it was awesome chatting with you again.
Well, have a great evening, Haley. Enjoy the
You
rest
too.
of the broadcast tonight, and of course, enjoy the semifinals and the finals.
I will. You have a safe trip tomorrow for sure.
And good night to all our viewers. Hope you keep watching throughout the week.
Mm-hmm. Good night, everyone.